if you're buying a new phone today or this year, it's probably not the best time. And the main reason for that is simple: inflation. Now, I'm not going to dwell on what inflation is and how it affects the world and the economy, but the gist is, everything is getting expensive, including the gadget in your pocket, your smartphone. What's up everyone, it's Pixie, and I'm temporarily filling in for today's video. You may be hearing my voice, but this review is written by Renzo. So, back to the video. A good example here is Xiaomi's Redmi lineup, particularly the Redmi Note 10 Pro. We all know how great the Note 10 Pro was. It had a great screen for the price, a great glass design for the price, good performance, and a camera that already boasts 108 megapixel sensor with a large battery and a relatively fast charger to back it up. What made the package even better is the price it came with. Since then, we anticipated, guessed, and patiently waited for its successor. Then the Redmi Note 11 Pro came in, and we all thought it was finally the 5G version of the Note 10 Pro. Except, the price bump was hard to justify based on the upgrades we were getting. So that opens up a new market for other competitors to compete in. Enter the Infinix Note 12 Pro. It launches at the same price as the Redmi Note 10 Pro from last year at 12,499 pesos. In fact, it nearly has the same set of features, such as a large AMOLED screen, 108 megapixels main camera, 5,000 mAh battery, and a 33-watt fast charger. But after spending some time with this phone, well, it's not quite the next Redmi Note 10 Pro. And I'm already scratching my head about whether you should even buy this phone. I mean, sure, it has nearly the same set of features, but it's not quite identical or even better. For example, the screen. The Note 12 Pro is sporting the same 6.67-inch AMOLED panel, which means it's colorful and bright under direct sunlight. However, it lacks HDR playback support and there's no fast refresh rate. In 2022, a mid-range phone that's still using 60 Hz. Sure, okay. Regular consumers don't need a fast refresh rate, and most people don't even know how to turn on the feature. But what about the camera? Okay, the main sensor is using a 108 megapixel sensor, but there's no ultra-wide to back up, and the two other cameras are useless, a pair of 2 megapixels for macro and depth purposes. I still don't know why Infinix needed to make this camera hump appear as if there are two usable cameras, but it is what it is. Want to know more of the catches? Video recording is capped at 144p at 30 fps, but to be fair, the 16 megapixel selfie camera can record up to 1440p as well with decent stabilization. As for the quality, Infinix needs to do a lot of optimizing here. Even with the technical specs to back up, the lack of post-processing optimization is hurting the chances of this phone being a good camera. Colors are oversaturated, details look smudgy, and the dynamic range is very limited. Add the fact that the electronic stabilization, even at 1080p, is almost non-existent. And then there's the design. The Infinix Note 12 Pro is a looker, especially for the white model that we have here. The frame is on the boxy side, but the angles are curved, so it's a bit easier to hold with one hand compared to the edgy frames of other phones of the same build. The back panel is made of plastic, but the finish is matte with a shimmering texture for added flair. You can't feel the glossy cutout for the camera, but I think it goes well with a thin camera housing, and I like how clean it looks, even with the written technical specs here. Good job, Infinix. But once you turn it around, you'll notice that there's a teardrop notch. In all honesty, it didn't bother me at all, and you shouldn't be as well. The only thing that makes the design of this phone fall short of the Redmi Note 10 Pro is the way it feels in the hand. Because of the chamfered edges of the frame, especially for plastic material, it feels like I'm holding a phone from 5 years ago. It may look premium and all, but it sure doesn't feel like one. Perhaps the biggest feature of the Infinix Note 12 Pro is the 5G capability that Dimensity 810 chip brings. While you do have a bit of future-proofing and connectivity, you can also continue using your existing micro SD card because of the dedicated slot, in addition to the 128GB or 256GB that's also paired with 8GB RAM. Although the Dimensity 810 isn't exactly a powerhouse, it's enough to drive the most popular games today like Mobile Legends and Battle Royale games at the highest settings with little to no frame drops or lags. But like the problems with the camera, Infinix XOS that's based on Android 12 also needs a lot of work in terms of optimization and just making the feel of the UI fluid and seamless. It's not that the UI is laggy or anything, it's just that some animations need some changing. The developers need to get back on the drawing board to make the UI feel intuitive. There are tons of features here to play with, but the basic things like adjusting the color space of the display and temperature are not present here. It's fine if the calibration out of the box of the phone is okay or close to accurate, but for an AMOLED, this one feels like the saturation has been bumped up to 150%. As for the rest, the 33-watt charger still gets this phone to 100% in just an hour, and the battery life is outstanding, especially on standby time. I managed to put up 3 hours of screen time without charging this phone for 4 days, but during most active days, I can easily get 7 to 8 hours of screen time. But the south-firing speaker is tinny for the price and lacks loudness. Good thing there's a headphone jack to save the day. So even if Infinix puts a special sale or discount on this phone, personally, I wouldn't get this device, and mostly because of the camera performance. It should be better. They are way behind in terms of camera optimization. I can forgive the other aspects of the phone, but really, the camera should be better. Either way, that's been it. Drop a sub or a like if you like supporting the channel. And as always, until the next one, stay safe.